Hey, it's Amy Cerny Vasterling. And you know how we hear people say everything is connected, and they might say it to stop us in our tracks from saying anything else about something that is not so great in our life that we're experiencing. That's generally when people spout it out. But for some reason, I felt that that was very much misrepresenting what is true. And well, I can't say everything isn't connected. I'm going to tell you the fullness of this and that that statement on its own, in those few words that they are, is actually false. So journey on with me and let's take a look at this. So for years, people were saying that to me. Everything's connected. Everything's connected. It was irritating for me. And thanks to them, that irritation helped me to see the fullness of what actually is true. What came for me is if everything is connected, and right then I knew it would be a statement of logic, then there is nothing which cannot be connected. So if everything is connected, therefore there is nothing which cannot be connected. And that's why I say everything connected is false, because on its own, it doesn't stand. It sounds, I'm sorry, but stupid because you're not thinking about it for yourself. And I'm not saying you are stupid. I'm saying stop saying that because it's not right on its own. And don't rip me off and start saying what I'm saying right now. Give me credit for it. Sorry for this. But if we look at that fullness, what it also taught me is I'm an intuitive. That's been in me since I was quite young. And the thing that I know about intuition is it's irrational on the front side. And that's why everything is connected sounds kind of silly is it is an irrational statement. But when it's paired with the backside of that statement, therefore, so on, that then it becomes a statement of logic, just the same way that intuition works. Meaning intuition is nonlinear, non-time bound, to me, proven by that statement. But on the backside is when the rational reasoning comes in. So let me give you an example of what I mean by that. And the example I give, I have a book that I wrote, and it's coming out in September of 2025. And in that book, and when I talk about this, I give this specific example, which is you maybe say you wake up in the morning and you get a message, put an umbrella in the car, and you think it's supposed to be sunny all week. It's been so hot and sunny, there's no rain on the forecast. That's ridiculous. But you do or you do not heed it. You didn't, it's okay. You can do it or you do not. And you get in the car and you leave for work and you're going about your day and it's 1 p.m. and somebody contacts you and says, "Hey, could you ever pick my kid up at the soccer field? I've arranged it with the coach. They know that, somebody else will be coming and I'll call them and tell them it's you if it's possible." And you say, "You know what? That will work for me." Maybe they need the pickup at 4:30 when the game is over and there's another parent watching the child until then or with the child. So then you get to that soccer field and the parents say, "Oh, the game is late and it'll go until, whatever time." And you're standing on the field and it is so sweltering hot in the sun that you need that umbrella to shade yourself. Now that seems really irrational, right? That it doesn't even matter. You don't need to shield yourself from the sun. But my point here is intuition and the messages you get, even if you don't heed it, you could see right there, oh, the umbrella would have come in handy to shade myself. Or later that day when you're back at home, you might realize that. The other thing I want to point out is that intuition is on your side. It's there to help you. So it's giving you information to try and make something easier. And in a way, in that example, it might sound silly to you, but in my life, I've had much more intense examples where it can make you seem like magic. There are other parents on that field or people on that field, families that might want an umbrella too. And there you have it. And it's the opposite of how we show off in our society of I've figured it all out and I'm ahead of everything. It's the complete contrast of that it's just natural to us. And that's what makes it pretty magic. Okay, I hope this has given you something to think about and also to understand that intuition isn't irrational and illogical. And it's been positioned that way more often than not. But I was thinking about it just today that if the movement of, the hippies and the 60s and so on, had really taken, which some of that, there was a lot of nitty-gritty getting in there and making movements happen. But many of those people, fast forward 15 years, were in the same jobs, or, in jobs where they were doing the same thing that their parents were doing. And it wasn't really a catalyst to change everything right then. And maybe it wasn't supposed to be. I'm in no way saying it was right or wrong. What I am saying is, I think it's because a lot of it came out of big ideas that were a little bit on that one side of everything's connected, and they weren't necessarily following the full loop of logic. Again, I'm not blaming anybody or saying it's right or wrong. It's just, I really wonder that if there's something about that movement that was too, I want to use the word flighty, like it was too kind of creative and not enough of the grounding. And I think creativity is what sees us through to the next. And actually, creativity is what's in the next. So I'm not saying creativity is bad, but sometimes with intuition or with this idea of getting in touch with our feelings, we might lose sense of other parts that are important, such as if everything is connected, therefore there is nothing which cannot be connected. Okay, I hope this has served you, and share it, like it, do all the things, as well as let's work together, because really collapsing narcissism is the aim in my work and it serves nobody. So let's do that together. Okay, thanks everyone.